I started understanding who I was as a person and curing myself in the inside, I was now able to put on my high heels, grab my dress, and get up, put my shoulders back, and walk out and say, if you can do it, I can do it. Because all it takes is for somebody to believe in you and you to believe in yourself. God created you to be here for a reason, to be successful, to be all of those amazing things. You weren't just brought here for no reason. You have a purpose to be here. I'm going to let every lady know out there that you've got a purpose. Don't you let anybody ever tell you different. Build yourself back up and get up there and put your shoes on, pull up your panties and get out there and walk and put your shoulders back and get out there and be there and serve other women too. How does my faith help me through winter? My faith is winter, summer, spring, like it's all seasons. My faith is my faith every single day. So there's no wavering from that. No matter where you are in life, you as a woman should support other women no matter where they are in life. Be positive. You can't have evil for evil. That person that's maybe they're hurting for a reason, show them that, you know what? I want to do something for you that's going to actually like uplift you. And it's going to make you feel so valuable and such an asset. And that what you want to do is you want to help them and build their confidence to where they can get out there and they're like just as bold as you are or more.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the SouthPaw Bill Podcast. Today, we have a special guest for you. It is her second time on the SouthPaw Bill Podcast, and it is Kerry Thomson. She is an entrepreneur, a team leader, a real estate professional. And this time we were able to go into a lot of details about her faith, about her journey, how she manages people, how she can help encourage them, and more importantly, how she can help motivate women. You guys are always going to hear me talk about how much I admire that. Many of you guys have seen my mom on social media, or our mom, as some of you guys might say, and the amazing example that she gave my brothers and I growing up. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Thank you, Kerry, for joining us. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment on your favorite part of the episode, and give us a like. We'll see you on the next one.
Oh, I think that's gorgeous. Okay.
Yeah, see? I know what I'm doing.
Is white okay to wear on a podcast?
I'm sorry?
Is white okay to wear on a podcast?
I didn't know it was like, what is that thing called? Labor Day, or
yeah,
you're not supposed to wear white or something?
Oh, I don't care.
I don't either.
Yeah, I'll wear whatever I want to wear, whether it's Labor Day or not.
It's
I think white is stunning on darker skinned women, to be honest. I think so. I love when I see people in white. It's like pure to me. It just, and not a lot of people can get away with wearing white. If you really think about it.
No.
So, yeah.
It looks good. It looks
Thank
good.
you.
It looks good.
I've been working hard.
20 pounds lighter.
20
Welcome
pounds
back.
lighter.
Kerry Thomson on the SouthPaw Boys podcast. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Happy
having
Friday.
me. Happy Friday, for sure.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
I know.
Oh, man.
I know. So let's take some deep breaths because it's been a long week.
Yeah. Isn't every day a long day in real estate?
You know what? For me, every day is a long day in real estate. And I think the reason why is I've been incredibly blessed recently in really being intentional about things that I'm doing. And so when I'm intentional, I feel like it's a long day in real estate because I'm not just kind of shooting from the hip of what am I going to do today? And then there's all these gaps of distractions because I'm intentional. So I know what I'm going to do every single day because I have the intentions of planning out my days.
I think that's a really good thing. Darren Hardy talks about...
I love Darren Hardy.
Yeah, so he talks about like the picture, right? The picture of like all the colors that you see throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but you're supposed to focus on the blue squares.
Correct.
And so you look at this thing and it's like massive. And what's funny is I've had a lot of phone calls just this week. A friend who manages a multi-million-dollar business, multiple restaurants, and then somebody else who's helping a lot of students, right, at different colleges. So two different aspects of life. And one of the things I was telling both of them is I said, you have to figure out the distinct difference between urgent and important.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of the things that we get taught when you're doing business. What's urgent versus what's important. And the other thing is systems.
Correct.
What systems do you have in place for things to go smoothly?
Right.
So that you know when you wake up, this is what I do. This is where I go. This is who I call. Because then you're not shooting from the hip.
Exactly.
And then you feel more productive. And you actually are more productive.
Actually, yeah.
So, and I think last time you mentioned that your calendar runs like from the night before, right?
So, So typically what I do is before I go to bed at night, I take out my workout outfit. I know what I'm going to wear for workout. I kind of follow the Mark Zuckerberg theme, right? Except for I don't wear the same color every day, the blue shirt and the black pants. What I do though is I like to have things, I'm a Virgo, so I love to have things where things are really organized, right? I'm not perfect by all means, but I'll pick out my outfit the night before. I know what I'm going to wear. I know what colors. I know what purse. I know what shoes. I know everything. But I will say lately, I've been in this era where I don't really wear high heels as much as I used to. Although I did wear them for you today.
Yeah,
and
are
I
they
wore
music notes or are they? No, wait, those are
YSLs.
YSL.
Yes.
A client gave me a YSL cologne box, her and her husband.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was like, I've never seen this, but great, thank you. So YSL, there you go.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I normally don't. I'm really kind of turning into a tennis shoe, kind of baggy pants a little with a nice blouse. I just feel like real estate nowadays is, a little bit more casual now and a little bit more people can kind of show their tattoos now where they didn't used to before. I do dress up in suits and blazers and things and whatnot when I think it's necessary. For sure, maybe on a listing appointment. But sometimes I become a little bit more casual if I have to keep going back and I let them really see the true authentic person that I really am. Where before it was like, I always felt like I had to be in high heels. I had to pull up a certain way. I had to do things. But as real estate goes on and as things happen, people are a little bit more acceptable. And I also think that people like more authenticity now than we used to be back in real estate before.
Do you think that has to do with society changing and being more acceptable? Or does it have to do with you being more confident and accepting that some people are not going to accept you? Or is it a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. I definitely do. I think that society does accept things a little bit differently now because things have changed. Times have changed as we go on, right? I also think that I'm not going to be for everybody all the time. So I think it's a little bit of both, right? Some people probably would prefer for me not to, pull up and show my tattoos, but I never do that on an actual listing appointment. So I'm very cautious, and I also get to know my clients beforehand. And most of my clients are repeat clients that I've had in the past. So I already know them and they know me.
Yeah, I think it's, I've shown it plenty of times, the little notepad. And I would tell people that there's this, it's funny, right? So right now, we have a client, Diego helped them fix their credit. And then there was a couple of other issues that weren't necessarily to do with credit that they needed to work on. The point is, it's been about 3 years. Now, this client, all the interactions and all the conversations that we've had has been by phone. Right, that's how they know me, by phone. Nothing on social media, my professional email signature, but they found me on social media. They're under contract. They're buying a house right now. Total out of pocket's like $8,000. So they're super stoked, but they found me on social media and they're like, "Oh my God, you don't look like the guy we thought you look like." Like, my husband said, like, "Hey, that's a really cool guy." Like on social media, that's like someone who I can get along with.
Right.
And up until this point, it's just been, professional, obviously up until that point. But I think society, these are older client society, even the older demographics, a little bit more accepting. And if you are given the opportunity to change someone's mind, I rejoice in that. I love it.
I love it.
Because they would have never given me, well, not them specifically, but there's a lot of people that would have never given me the chance. And back in the day, 25 years ago, I was parting my hair to the side. I was always wearing a suit.
I remember.
Oh, I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated
Do you
it.
think that you hated it, or did you think that that's just who you were at that time? Because as we grow older, or as we change in different eras, we also change the way that we look. We change the way that we dress. You know, for example, I don't necessarily love to have the YSLs and the Chanels and all that stuff now. I'm more where I want to simplify my life. I haven't been to the mall in almost 5 months, to be quite honest, and I used to be at the mall every day, because I'm changing the way that I want to be as far as mind, body, and soul and spirit. And being the fact that my faith has become way more on top of everything besides everything else. So before, I was in the world, living the worldly world, right? Well, I've changed in that aspect really in the last 5 years, and it's getting deeper and deeper as I dig in deeper.
So I'm going to answer that. But for me, it was never who I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was wanting to be an adult. That's what I would tell my mom when I was a kid. I was like, I want to be a grown-up. I want to be married. I want to have kids.
Yeah.
I want to go to a job where I wear a suit.
Right.
That's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted to be a professional person. But at the same time, every client that I would sell to, or that I would have consultations with, if that's what you want to call it, was 40, 50. I'm a teenager doing mortgages. So it's like, there is a part of it where it's like you have to match the job, right, that you're applying for. You can argue that fact. But I always felt like, man, I want to dress down a bit. I just couldn't. I couldn't back then. And then I got to accept myself, and to say, it's like, I know I'm doing good. I know I'm the designations I have, only 1% of loan officers have. Production and our team and everything that we do, it's like, no, like, I know there's good in my heart, and I know that what I do for these clients is the best thing. If they don't like the way I look, then it is what it is.
Exactly.
But your piece, one of the things that we've talked, and it's we go through different seasons, and sometimes the seasons are summer. It seems like in California, like summer
is always here.
Like, what the freak, dude? It was like 102 degrees last week, and it's September.
I know.
And then sometimes it's winter, like today. It's a little cloudy.
Yeah.
Right. How does your faith help you through winter?
Hi, my name is Vivian Pichardo, and this episode of SouthPaw Bill is brought to you by the Unbecoming of Becoming a Goddess. This is a book of poetry and dialogue and journal entries of my own that speaks about how I had to unbecome who I was to become who I wanted to be. It's something that has touched a lot of people's lives because it connected very well with what they're going through as well. So get your book on Amazon. It's The Unbecoming of Becoming a Goddess. And I hope you love it. Now we're going back to the episode.
How does my faith help me through winter? My faith is winter, summer, spring, like it's all seasons. My faith is my faith every single day. So I have a system and a way that I just do everything every day that involves my faith. So there's no wavering from that. So there's not really different seasons. Now, I can tell you there are some times where I'm really busy or I've got something to do and I can't get to whatever my daily routine would be, which is sometimes, making sure I get up in the morning and reading a verse or whatever it is that I'm going to do because there's something that came up and there's a distraction. I'm not perfect by all means, so sometimes that does happen, but I recognize that. And when I recognize that, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I got to get back to where I got to start. And the reason I do that is because I think everything for me starts off with my faith first.
Is it like when those days happen, or, because I have those days, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so hard, right? I think life, I mean, it's my Rocky Balboa up there.
Yeah.
This world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's
and sometimes
journey.
it just,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I've broken down a lot of times, and there's a very close group, like I can count them on my fingers, right, that have seen me that way. But it takes a long time for them to be able to see it, but it's just like, it's so hard. It's so difficult. And I'm asking for a break. I'm asking for, Jesus, show me like a freaking, light at the end of the tunnel, because I'm like getting beat up left and right. And it feels like it's every day and it's every day. And for you, what helps you get out of that is a reset with scripture, I'm assuming. I don't know.
I love that. For me, it's capturing my thoughts.
Okay.
So when I get into a place where I just feel like I'm getting beat up left and right, let me give you an example, right? I just had a little incident before I walked in here, and I take that very serious. If I have a client that maybe there's a little mistake, or if I have anything for that matter, I will capture my thoughts. And so you need to capture your thoughts when you have these, because our thoughts can multiply and turn into ants and turn into bubbles and multiply in our head. So you have to be able to capture your thoughts. And recently, in the last couple of years that I've become so true to my faith, I am able to capture my thoughts. So when I'm able to capture my thoughts, I'm able to control myself more. I have more self-control.
That's consists of being self-aware.
Correct.
So when I do the same thing, right? And there's this thing where it's emotion versus logic. Emotionally, I'm like bubbling with all those random thoughts and things that are going on. And I'm like, but intellectually, I'm like, chill, relax.
Yeah.
You got this. You already did this. You already did this. This is happening over here. You have team members helping out with anything that that's going on. So yeah, I do the same thing. Try to collect my thoughts. Try to separate logic from emotion, because sometimes it's that emotion that's pulling you down. I focus a lot on logic, right? That's my biggest thing. To then focus on gratitude. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I have a house. I have food.
You have food?
Yeah, I have food. I got a mustache. Just what really fulfills me. Like, I'm over here, hung up on this thing. It's like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And if you did everything that you should have done, then it's going to go in the right direction. And the right direction is whatever actually happens.
So, can I speak into that?
Absolutely.
I think just being a good person. If you're a good person and you are able to capture your thoughts and not be reactive to things, and really just take a step back, and a lot of the things that get into our head as world things. Okay?
What do you mean by that?
And what I mean by that is things that go on in the world. Okay, things that other people do that go on in the world. Because right now we have we're definitely in a different arena as far as where our world is right now, right? There's a lot of evil right now. There's a lot of things that are going on right now, right? And those things can really affect you. And so if you're able to capture your thoughts and you're able to spiritually be, for me, in the Word, right? And you're a good person and you're doing the right things, and sometimes the worldly world are other people. It's rooted in them, those people. And those people you can't control. You can only control yourself, your reaction, how you respond to something, and things that other people do. That's what I mean when you say, what do you mean the worldly world? Things that happen in the world that other people do that you have no control over, except for your own self, your own thoughts. And then you have to think one more thing. You cannot change anybody. You cannot change Diego. You cannot change Kerry. You cannot change Kerry's heart. There's only one person in my world that can change hearts, and that's God.
So that's one thing that my mom told me when I was really young. I would tell her, I'm like, oh, this person pissed me off. Oh, I would just, vent to my mom. And she's like, wait, they didn't piss you off. You chose.
You allowed it
to get pissed off. because you choose how to react.
Mm-hmm.
You could have chosen not to react, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You choose your reaction to the world. You can't change someone. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing my mom would always tell me.
See?
You cannot change someone. What you can change is...
A very wise woman, I would say.
Dude, she is.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, you can change yourself. And so sometimes it's one of the things that always gets me. I don't know if you do this, right? But I sit at night. I used to dwell on it. Now I don't consider it dwelling. I just think it's like self-analysis.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what did I do wrong today? I would literally go through my interaction with the guy at the gas station, like conversations with you, conversations with a client, text messages, stuff on social media. And I'm like, man, was I rude? Did I treat that person wrong? And my brothers have seen it, right? They've seen me sit in my backyard and like, what are you doing? Well, I'm just hanging out thinking. And I'm like processing thoughts of like, how could I have been a better person today? And then their response to me is, dude, the fact that you're doing that means you're a good person.
Yeah.
We know you.
Self-reflecting.
But that's how my dad brought us up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
do the sensible thing. Be smart about it. Think. So yeah, my mom has always told me that. You can't change people. So stop trying to change. Well, I mean, my advice, stop trying to change your husband or your wife. They are who they are.
So you have to meet them where they're at, but you also can do it with boundaries, right?
Right.
So your relationships are meet people where they're at, right? Because not everybody's the same. So you have to meet them where they are, but you do things with love, with patience, with grace, with intention. Everything that you do should be in love.
Yes.
In love. Remember, everything, the way that we think, the way that we react, the way that we treat people, the way that we respond to somebody, everything should be in love. And when you think about that, let me react in love. You don't have to be that person's friend or like them or anything, but always handle everything in love. And when you do that, do you know what that does to your heart? Because you know what? That's what God wants is our heart and our spirit. I know it might be a little overwhelming of what I'm saying, but truly, when you do things in love, you will not believe how it can completely change your entire perspective and mind and frame of mind on how you look at different things in life is by doing it in love.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just sometimes it's easier said than done. You know, like last week, I was in my backyard, and
You like your backyard.
I love my backyard.
You're in love.
I love my backyard is tiny, dude. There's like literally nothing there in my backyard.
And that's okay.
But I get to look at the stars,
Yes.
right? At night and just relax.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in my backyard and I'm thinking about work, a particular situation, and you know, did everything from like giving up my unborn child to make sure that this client can get their house. Now, mind you, this was the night before I had to give up the child, which I didn't have a problem with, but my chest started hurting like bad. I'm like, oh my God, like I can't get this out of my mind. I cannot get this out of my mind. And all I kept telling myself was like, man, I hope this works out. I hope this works out. Like I've done everything I could have done out of love,
Mm-hmm.
right, for this person.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other piece was like, man, like I need something good to happen. I need something good because like I felt like a lot was piled on me. Now, someone said, well, focus on your mom being cancer free and
Be
your
bold.
dad being healthy
Mm-hmm.
and you being alive. And I said, I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
So grateful for, you know, my mom being okay now.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it doesn't change the fact that I want this to take place for this particular client. But my chest was freaking hurting. I'm like, and again, I was trying to do separate emotion from logic, but the emotion of it was getting the best of me. But yeah, do it with love.
That's a big deal. Emotions are a big deal in us, and we're all human, so we have emotions. But we really need to know how to capture our emotions, because our emotions can take over, right? I can get a client, and if I feel like they're upset, or in my relationship, if I hurt somebody's feelings, not intentionally, I will cry. And then I will think to myself, wait a minute, I need to capture my emotions, because emotions can take over. And a lot of times that's how we react to things, because we allow our emotions to do that. So that's where you have to separate your emotions from logic and think to yourself, you know what? I need to put this in God's hands, and I need to say, I've done the best that I can. In God's will, whatever God wants is what I'm going to accept. And that is where, that's me, okay? We're all different. And that's me. Everybody has a different higher power, everybody whatever. But me as my spirit and who I am, I'm a devout Christian in my perspective. So what I do is, that has changed my life, because I used to be like that, where it was like I couldn't sleep at night, or I was just sitting there and just my mind would just go crazy thinking about trying to figure things out. And once I started realizing that I was going to hand this over to God, and that whatever I prayed about and that God would handle it, it always felt like God handled it. And I will tell you that when I get emotional, it's because I have realized how much that the Lord has done for me in my life, that I am so in love with Jesus, and I'm so in love with what I have been, even sitting in this chair, driving here. All of those things I'm grateful for, because those are all gifts that are given to us. And they can be taken away from us at any time. Anytime. And so for me, it's, you know what? Hey, I'm going to think about it. What can I do? How can I fix this? Okay, I've done the best that I can. And sometimes other people aren't in the same frame of mind, and they're going to look at it differently. There's nothing you can do unless you've done what you can do, and allow them to, whatever it is that they do. But like I said, do everything in love. And as long as you're being a good person, doing everything in love, handing it over to God, and just saying, in your will, whatever happens, you have to accept that.
So I agree with you.
Well, thank you.
No, I do. And see, that's the thing that, I have had situations where it's just like, again, that and self-analysis. Mm-hmm. And I go through my little checks, and I'm like, no, I did everything that I should have done.
Sure.
Right? But then people get to decide,
mm-hmm.
right? Like, mm-hmm. I can't change you or change your mind. I can help you see, for example. But it's I don't know. Some people like to argue. Some people like to fight.
Yeah, they're combative. And that's where you serve people and you let them make the decision. You say, ultimately, you're serving them, because that's what we do, is we serve people, right? What I love to do in love is to serve people. How I like to be a team leader or anybody on my team is to serve them.
Well, to me, it sounds like it's not only part of your personal life, but it's also part of your business and how you run your team and how you treat your clients.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's serving. We have to serve people. When we serve people, we bring in impact. And so by serving them, you want to impact them. You want to change their life. You want to give them something that they've never had. But ultimately, it's God working through you that's making these things happen. So the glory goes all to God. Yeah, you have a little bit to do with it, of course, because He works through us. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, that all the people that you've helped, everybody that you've done things for, you've impacted their life, is being a good person, because God's working through you.
Yeah, or if not, my mom would beat my ass.
Yeah. God would probably tell her to. No, I just
yeah, probably not.
So I don't know. I just feel like you're here to serve, and for me, in my journey, and my journey hasn't always been that way. There's times when I started out in real estate before I was really a believer, where it was kind of like my way or the highway. Let's do it this way. Let's do it that way. And as I learn and I get older and I get wiser and I get more logical and I get more into the Word and I learn a lot more, I become more self-aware to serve people. And that's what I want to do with my team is like, it's not my way. How can I serve you? Let's all sit down at a table and let's talk about your highs and lows. Tell me what ideas that you have. You'd be surprised if you get around a table and instead of being the one that's the authority and wanting to be the leader with being the authority, that you sit down around a table and say, what do you guys think? And allowing, you'll be surprised the ideas that other people will come up with that will teach you something. And so being a leader is for me to serve my team and to allow them to come up with the ideas that maybe ideas I didn't even know. And it's like, wow, George, that was such a great idea. I think we should try that. Hey team, what do you guys think? Should we try this out? Get their votes. That's serving them.
How is it? So, excuse me, you're a driver. I've known you for years. And for people who don't know, you're a successful entrepreneur, business owner. Obviously, you sell a lot of real estate. You help a lot of families, thousands of families, I would say. You've been in this industry for over 2 decades, right? Same as I. So you have a lot on your plate and you've served so many families. And not only that, but you also impact the families that you support that are part of your team, right? So whether it's a transaction coordinator, assistants, there's an influx of money that is also being like sent in other places, right? So you impact so many lives, thousands of lives. How do you as a driver take criticism, advice, or suggestions from team members that may not necessarily be at the same level of experience as you? How do you wrap your head around that to be able to accept it and then say like, oh, okay, yeah. Because then sometimes I know some drivers, they're like, you know, my way or the highway, this is what we're doing, and I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So I try not to have that perspective. I really try to listen to what my team wants to tell me and meet every single person where they're at. Okay? So if I've got one agent that has a perspective that might be different than what my perspective is, I want to know why you see that perspective that way. And I want to listen to that, how that can be a great idea and how I can implement that into something that maybe that I don't have any knowledge about, and how can I put that into a logical way of being able to say, that sounds like a great idea. And you know what? I want to try something like that. Wow, that was really great. And uplift them and encourage them to know that, hey, they brought value to the table. And the way that you treat people and realize that they're bringing value to the table, that's an impact that you change people's lives. And so as a driver, I've learned to kind of back down a little bit on that to where I'm not such a driver anymore. I'm more getting into the more of, I'm here to serve you. I want you guys to come up with your own ideas, your ways of thinking of what you guys want. I'm here to guide you and I'm here to support you. I'm here to advocate for you, but I'm not going to be the one to say, this is the way it's going to be, or it's going to be the highway, and it's going to be my way. Now it's like, tell me why, explain to me why you think that this would be a great idea, and then let me listen and let me really, really think about it and figure out how can we put that into something that might be really, really helpful in our business, and how can we grow from that and learn from that? Because you'll be surprised what the younger generation knows that we don't know, what the older generation knows that we don't know. You'll be surprised on being able to hear people out.
Yeah, I think inherently, I think everybody has value. Everybody has life experience, independent of the experience in the particular craft that we're talking about, right? So, you know, whether someone's a realtor and they're new in the business, they may come from, I don't know, a different industry that can provide insight as to a better way of doing it.
Absolutely.
So being open to hearing people's opinions. I love hearing people's opinions.
Me too.
Like, it's like, I mean, you might be wrong, right? You might be 100% wrong. Like, hey, this doesn't work, right? But I love hearing because it gives me insight as to how they think.
Yeah.
Now, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner and a team leader, I don't think everyone always understands how difficult that might be. Because let's say you have a group of 5 individuals.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 different worlds, 5 different lives,
Mm-hmm.
plus their families, plus their hangups, plus they don't want to work or they want to do it one way. They want to, whatever it is, but there's 5 completely different worlds that you're dealing with. And sometimes, whether it's an agent or a loan officer, or again, and you're a server, and then you're the manager, you really got to make sure that you're in tune with 5 different personalities, in addition to running the business and making it profitable and successful, and still bringing clients in.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to how difficult that is? To be able to it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I would say that Mike has talked about this. He says, I worry about the office. I worry about each and every one of you,
Mm-hmm.
like the loan officers, the families, like
Mm-hmm.
they don't produce, they can't pay their mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's like, I feel this weight,
Mm-hmm.
right? That I need to figure out a way to make sure that I'm the best for them. But at the same time, it's like the other stuff, like the behind the scenes stuff. So can you?
Yeah, so I would love to answer that. It is extremely hard. I've ran up to 60 agents at one time. I've got 40 agents. I've gone down to 12 agents. It just depends, right? It depends on where they're at, right? And it is really hard because you have multiple personalities, right? You have different people that have different lives, and everybody has a different life, a different story. Everybody has a story. And it is really, really difficult as a team leader because you feel very responsible. One of the things that we may have mentioned a lot on our last podcast is that one of the things that really affects me, and I probably can relate to where Mike feels as a leader and as somebody that is a team leader and there to serve you guys, is that when somebody says, I need to get a second job because, I'm just not cutting it in real estate. So that is hurtful because you studied for your exam, you studied all the courses, you did all this stuff. You made a commitment to yourself. You made a commitment to your family that you were going to go out and do real estate. And you are giving up on yourself. And I want to know, and I won't say you're giving up on yourself, but you're giving up and why. So I want to get into their mind to figure out why and put them back to where their goal-oriented came from, which was, this is what I want to do. And get them back there. A lot of times they get into real estate and they realize that it's not as easy as they thought that it was going to be, or it's not this, or they get different opinions from so many different other people that they're so new that they just move on to the next shiny object without really giving it a fair chance. That's why you see a lot of agents moving around. They go from one broker to the next broker to the next broker. It's really you. At the end of the day, it's you. Are you doing all of the things that you need to do that your team leader might be telling you to do or giving you, serving you? And for me, when I'm a team leader, I pay for all of their marketing. And the only 3 things that I want them to worry about is keeping their real estate license, their MLS, and making sure that they have their super key. Those are the only 3 things that I want them to worry about. Everything else, I will cover for you. As your leader, I will cover for you. But you got to do the work. You got to contribute. You got to do the work. You can't come in and sit on the couch or whatever, and you got to do the work. And if you do the work, you will see the fruits grow. You will see the fruits of your labor grow when you do the work. And you have to do the work. You have to do your part. And if you're not doing your part and you're wondering why you have to get that second job or why that money's not coming in or why these things, and you're not doing the work, it really affects you as a person, but it affects the person that's leading you because they want the best for you. They're there to serve you.
I was talking to a friend of mine. He's a personal trainer, right? Celebrity trainer, all that good stuff. One of the things that he said prior to taking on, so shout out to Robert Townsend.
Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to Robert Townsend. Man, you guys see this guy. This guy is like so yoked. Like, he's like, he'll put his stories like fit over 40 because he's just,
Yeah. That's dedication, determination, and all of those things right there.
Is just looks phenomenal. Super smart too. IQ of 145 at like 15 years old. He was, I think, 13 years old. He was set to graduate high school like at 13. So he's super, super smart. But one of the things he said is, before I take on a client, we want to dissect everything about them. Like, why are you trying to get better? Why are you trying to improve? What do you need to take out? What do you need to put in? What can you stop doing that could potentially help? And then also, like, what are your goals? Because some people want to do 40 transactions a year. Some people want to do 10 transactions a year. I think it's that piece where people don't do the work, and they're saying, well, hey, Robert, I'm not losing weight. Okay, well, I see you're eating ice cream at 10 o'clock at night. So then
you're in the cabinet.
You're in the cabinet. Right, exactly.
Right.
You're the hamburger. And then for you, it's like you can literally see you're not coming into the office. You're not doing open houses. You're not on the dialer. You're not doing these things.
Yeah.
And so now you're moving to another office to look for something that you're going to have the same result. And then you and I see this on social media all the time. They go to another office. They're there for about 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 18 months. And then all of a sudden they're somewhere else.
They're moving all the time.
And all of a sudden they're somewhere else.
I see them happen. I see it happen all the time.
Monkey bars.
I stayed with Keller Williams for almost 16 years, and there were so many things that had happened there. There's life that happens, things that happen. But I was so loyal when I was at KW. It was the best years of my life. I had the best brokers. And shout out to Cheryl and David Skolnick, by the way. I mean, they were like the best leaders. And I loved Cheryl and David. And Cheryl was one of the best leaders I've ever had in my life, aside from you guys. You know that Wanda Payton is like a mom to me. Shout out to Wanda Payton too.
Shout out to Wanda Payton. I haven't seen her in a long time.
She's part of my everyday life. And to be quite honest, in a spiritual way, she has really defined me a lot in terms of a lot of my thinking too. Along with the people that I have that are supportive in my support system in my life. So yes, you have God. God comes first. And so you have him at the top. But in order to prioritize and unlock all these other keys that are coming down, and you need to have these different other tools. So I have this toolbox that I wear every day that's on my waist, and I can reach into that toolbox and I can grab that toolbox. This is what's happening with me today. I'm going to grab that tool because I have that resource for that, because I want to be wise and better. And so I coach, I manage, I'm looking for reading books. I do all these things because I want to be so knowledgeable to where I can reach into my tool bag and I can pull out what I need at that time for whatever it is that I'm going through, because I have a tool bag that is so filled with resources in there, and I can pull that toolbox out. I pull that tool out of that toolbox.
It's people are important. I'm a very solitary person, which sounds weird. Because people think that, because of what they see on social media, or what I do for a living, or what I do in my spare time, like all the things that people end up seeing, right? But I'm like very solitary. But I've also learned to always pay it forward with Zig Ziglar, right? The more people I help reach their goals, like the closer you get to yours. Now, that is a selfish way of looking at it, or not a selfish way. That is an actual analysis of what actually takes place, but someone could be selfish in doing so. I do it just because it comes naturally, because it's love, right?
Love.
And having those people in your corner, like Wanda Payton, like I have like Rocky in my corner, I have Biggs in my corner, I have my brothers in my corner, both Mike and, Diego and, Barrios.
Yeah, great people.
Dude, it's like, and then you kind of see these other people.
Yeah, they made you bring the beer when you don't even drink.
Exactly.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there. We have to have some fun too, right?
Dude, I'm carrying this ice chest, and I'm like, I don't even drink.
I know, that's funny. I thought that was cute. I love that though.
Yeah, and by the way, the first beer that I had was with Mike and Eddie. What was it? When I was 21. That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because of the loss of a basketball game. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're really in your emotions.
Well, no, it was a bet. It was a bet.
Oh, okay. I thought
It was a bet.
the basketball game. Well, it was, and you were in your emotions. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So having a good support group, I think it's important. And sometimes I don't think people, maybe this is like the self-reflection podcast episode, but sometimes people don't self-reflect to understand that sometimes you have to trim the fat and let people go.
Totally. I have probably, maybe I would say on 5 really good friends that I would go to for anything that are part of my resources, right? Other than that, you do have to trim the fat. And the more that you become a certain way, for me, it's faith. The more that I become more in my faith, the more that I see a lot of people drop off. And I'm okay with that.
I'm 100% okay with
I am okay with that.
But I will say that sometimes, or a lot of times, it fucking hurts. Or at least for me.
Yeah, okay. So can I change your perspective on that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I used to feel the same way. When I would lose a team member or somebody would unfriend me on Facebook or whatever they would do, and I'm guilty of it too, basically what I do is if I see somebody that maybe I feel like isn't good for me or whatever they're putting out there is kind of detouring me or whatever, I might just mute them. You know what I mean? Just kind of mute it so I don't have to see it. But my whole Instagram and everything is a lot of faith-based stuff. So I've muted a lot of things, and not like intentionally people per se, but things that I want to feed into me. I will not watch scary movies. I won't watch Dateline. I won't watch Snapped. I won't watch anything that has to do with killing and I used to love American Greed. I love those things, documentaries. There's some documentaries that I won't even watch because everything that I put into my body and my spirit is going to affect me. And so I don't mind that when somebody leaves or doesn't want to have anything to do with me or whatever it might be, I'm okay with that because I'm not for everybody. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. So the way that I look at it is, thank you, God, for plucking them out of my life. You removed them out of my life for a reason. And I will tell you that 10 out of 10 times, they were removed out of my life for a reason, whether I was removed from them or they were removed from me. And so when I look at it, it doesn't hurt me as much as it used to hurt me at one time when somebody would be removed, because I now know the spirit of love and I now know a different part of me, that where I come from in the inside, that those things don't affect me as much anymore because I know there's a reason for it and I can't question God.
So again, I'm with you. I'm with you logically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I had a conversation with a friend this weekend. We're at the tattoo shop. A friend screwed him over big time.
Yeah.
It was a business dealing.
Mm-hmm.
And like bad, like very bad. And so I asked my friend who's sharing the story with me, right? And I said, are you hurt? Mm-hmm. And he's like, kind of like, like, the fuck you asking me this question for? But I'm like, no, like, do you feel like you lost a friend?
Mm-hmm.
And he sat there for a minute. He said, yeah, I feel like I lost a friend.
Yeah.
And I said, and that's okay, man.
Yeah.
That's okay that you feel that. It's okay to know that emotion, because I've lost many friends that have fucked me over.
Totally. Been there, done that. Yeah.
And it hurts. Because this is the thing, right?
That's the human side of you.
So I had you on this pedestal as a friend, which I will put all my friends on a pedestal. I will put strangers on a pedestal because I want to love. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But what they just showed me is that I don't matter and I'm not important in their view, right? And so while I was giving you everything, you saw me like a piece of trash. And so all of a sudden, this foundation of, let's say, years of knowing each other, it's just like, it wasn't never real. So you feel like you've lived this lie. It's Jordan Peterson talks about like the person that ends up cheating on you. And then you find out later, it feels like the rug's been pulled out from
It's very
from
hurtful.
under you.
Very, very hurtful.
Yeah, I know. So all of a sudden it's like, wait, what happened 5 years ago wasn't true. What you told me back then wasn't true, because if it was, how could I have been deceived by the person that I cared about the most, right? So I think again about it from the perspective of logic versus emotion. Logically, what I'm telling my friend is I said, look, good thing they showed you who you really are, because people always show you who they are. If you give them enough
they'll
time.
show you.
Yep. Give them enough time, they'll show you.
Give them a rope, they'll hang themselves for sure.
But it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, because all you did was good. All that came out from you was good. So yeah, the older you get, the more of that you experience, and it's just part of life.
And that's okay.
People are people.
That's okay, and people are people. But you have to remember that that person that screwed over your friend has a deep-rooted issue within themselves.
100%.
Okay, so when someone gets screwed over, I've been screwed over. I've loaned people thousands of dollars, and they were my friend, and I loved them. They were so great to be around. They were funny. They made me laugh. They were wonderful. And, and I would loan them money, and they would promise to pay me back. And then I got my feelings hurt. Like, I'm not going to let you get away with this. And then I just started pulling back and saying, you know what? This is something that's within themselves, and realize that they had more problems and more issues and more things that were going on with them. And it's deep rooted within them. And so what they do is that deep root is really something that's inside of them that has not been healed or cured yet. And until you're healed and you're cured of whatever has happened to you, maybe in your childhood, maybe whatever it is, you will let that affect you. And you will be hurt, and you will all those things. Other than that, you have to just kind of sit back and say, okay, this hurts me. And it might hurt you for a couple of days, because we are human and we do have emotions, and we do have to embrace that we are humans and have emotions. But we also need to recognize that there's always, when you look back 5 years from now, and this guy looks back 5 years from now, he's going to be extremely happy that that person was removed out of his life for a reason.
100%.
Yeah, that was not a good person. And that person had deep-rooted issues and wasn't cured or healed from whatever their wounds are. So they hurt the other people. And remember, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, hurt people hurt people. Now, on the business side, one thing that I believe I mentioned it to you, and if I didn't mention it to you last time, I see you as an admirable person, because I love seeing successful women. Right? I love seeing successful people in general, right? But one thing is, I see my mom in so many women that push the family forward, right? You're always pushing, you're always driving, you're always motivating others, you're always motivating women, and that's the biggest thing that my mom would say is like, I came to this country with nothing, and then I would find women and their hangups, right? Like why they couldn't be successful. Maybe their husband wouldn't allow them to be successful. Jealousy from the husband, or hangups of not being able to talk to people. So my mom did all these workshops to work with women, to empower them, to go out there, hustle, and to do for the family what like the family unit requires. And so a woman right now that's out there that maybe doesn't have full confidence, doesn't know what to do, but wants to become an entrepreneur. Like, what could they do to give themselves that belief, or what, like to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this, because you've done it and you've very successful at it. So what advice would you give them?
So that is a really good question, and I would give them, a matter of fact, I'm so glad that you brought this up. I've been asked recently to speak in a church. I've done probably several women empowerment speeches on empowering other women, because there are women that have been through so much. Maybe it's abuse, maybe it's being told their whole life as a child that they would never amount to anything, or maybe it's the way that they were treated, or maybe it was a dysfunctional, toxic relationship, whatever it was that brought them down. they first of all have to build that confidence. And for me, how I've built my confidence, and the reason I feel like I'm so bold and so strong is going back to my faith again, right? So I would give any woman a recommendation as first is like getting your faith together, finding out who you are, your inside of who you are, and healing and curing yourself first from whatever is bothering you on the inside, because you have to fix what's inside of you first, right? Before you can go out to the world and really become something that is successful and can be bold and can get out there and really work really hard at what they want to reach that goal that they set for themselves, right? Setting their own destiny, right? And so for me, in order to do that, I had to cure myself in the inside first and figure out what were my hangups, what were my things that I'm dealing with that I feel like I'm not good enough to get out there and do the same thing that somebody else that can get out there and do, because we're all the same people. We all have the same hearts. We all have the same thing. We're all the same. Rocky, you're the same, right? We're all the same, and the thing is that you have to build that confidence, and how you do that is, for me, it was building my faith. And once I started building my faith and started understanding who I was as a person and curing myself in the inside, I was now able to put on my high heels, grab my dress, and get up, put my shoulders back, and walk out and say, if you can do it, I can do it. Because all it takes is for somebody to believe in you and you to believe in yourself. And once you start believing in yourself, in love, and you fall in love with yourself and who you are, God created you to be here for a reason, to be successful, to be all of those amazing things that you were here. You weren't just brought here for no reason. You have a purpose to be here. And so I'm going to let every lady know out there that you've got a purpose that you are here for. Don't you let anybody ever tell you different, that you're worthless, you're this or you're that. Don't you ever do that. Build yourself back up and get up there and put your shoes on, pull up your panties and get out there and walk and put your shoulders back and get out there and be there and serve other women too. Support other women, no matter where they're at in life, no matter where they are in life, no matter where you are in life, you as a woman should support other women no matter where they are in life. Be positive, regardless of their hangups, their insecurities, whatever they've done wrong. Guess what? You can't have evil for evil, okay? You got to get out there and you got to show them that person that's maybe they're hurting for a reason. Show them that, you know what? I want to do something for you that's going to actually like uplift you, and it's going to make you feel so valuable and such an asset. And that what you want to do is you want to help them and build their confidence to where they can get out there and they're like just as bold as you are or more.
I think that
that was powerful.
It was. It is. See, that's the thing, dude. Okay, so obviously I'm Hispanic. Well, I don't know if it's obvious, but I'm Hispanic,
yeah.
Right? There's a lot of machismo in my culture.
Yeah.
Right? Woman stays at home, makes me a sandwich.
Yeah. Totally.
All that shit. And that's not what I grew up with.
Mm-hmm. Equal.
Right? I would say this is the thing. My dad is the one that sits on the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
At the beach, right? He sits at the beach and protects.
Mm-hmm.
My mom goes out in the water and swims.
Yeah.
And so as children, my dad was always the protector.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was always the adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm an adult, my dad, when I see him, my dad is very pragmatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad just kind of thinks about things like, okay, charts and all that stuff.
Analytical.
Super analytical. Mm-hmm. My mom is a crazy one.
Yeah.
Super entrepreneur. All right, I want that. What do I got to do to get it? Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Now, two different childhoods. My dad was raised by a single mom. She had him when she was 15.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was raised by a professor and a farmer, encouraging them.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was raised with restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have food. We don't have anything to eat. You got to wake up at 3 a.m. and help. So my dad was like lack of resources.
Mm-hmm.
My mom had lack of resources, but she had different types of parents. But the thing that you mentioned as far as paying it forward in women and encouraging others, there's enough for us to eat,
mm-hmm.
for all of us to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see other Hispanics, pulling down other Hispanics. Like, I'm just talking about the culture dynamic.
It's okay.
It's like, bro, like, what are you doing? You know, you just because you're not there yet doesn't mean you can't get there, right? So people that might be above you, socioeconomically. But the other thing is like men. I talked about that on one of my last podcasts, and I said I hate the culture stuff where women can't do this and women can't do that. It's like, yo, dude, you know what? I saw my mom do that all the time. All the time. My mom would hustle. My mom would work. Yeah, my mom still cooked, right? She still had...
I saw her making papas the other day, right? And I saw Diego, talk to me.
She is that woman that just said, I'm going to do for my family whatever I need to do to like find success for us, and I'm going to help other women that are out there be successful too. So how do we change the world? We change the world like one person at a time, right? So the other girl that wants help, the other girl that doesn't feel good about herself, but I see a lot of women hate on each other.
They do.
And it's like, why? It's so wild.
You know what I do, honestly? When I see other women hate on other women, first of all, you got to pull your plank out of your own eye first, right? Because there's so many women out there that go out there and they just, say terrible things about other women. And it's like, hey, listen, none of us are perfect. And let's pull our plank out of our own eye first before we start chopping other women down. We all have a story. We all have made mistakes in life. We're all different. We're all human beings. Don't start chopping down other women or other cultures or other people. Not even a homeless person deserves to be disrespected. Nobody does. What you need to do, and I'm very passionate when it comes to this kind of stuff because I don't think that anyone should be mistreated at all. And if I mistreat somebody and not intentionally, maybe I said something that might hurt their feelings and they bring it up to me, I will apologize. If they don't bring it up to me and they just walk away from me, that's their thing. That's their thing. How will I know to be better, or how will I know, what they were thinking or how they were feeling if they never expressed to me that? They made me feel like they liked me and they were, I thought everything was great, but it's just, I don't take it personal. It's their own thing. And a lot of times, these people are people that I've helped financially. Where they'll tell me and I'll say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you this money. You don't even need to pay me back. I just want to do it because I want to help you. And then later on, they don't want to be my friend, for whatever reason, whatever their judgment is of me. That's on them. It's not on me.
Right.
And if it is something, I will repent and I will cleanse myself and I will seek what I did and try to get the answers, and I'll try to get the answers from God. I know I talk about God a lot, but really He truly is the source of every single decision, every single movement, every single action, every single relationship. Everything that I do has truly been like that's my God.
Well, no, and I would say don't apologize. Like that's...
Yeah, no. Yeah.
That's important to you.
It is very important to me.
And I just people are people. That's the thing that I have to get in my head, right? People are people.
People are people. They live in the world. And at the end of the day, I look at eternal life. Okay? So I'm passing through this world right now. I'm just passing through. But I look at eternal life. And there's going to be judgment day. And when that judgment day comes, it's going to be like, you did this. This person did this. This person did this. This person did this. Everyone's going to have to face judgment day one day. So I look at things as eternal life. And even in my own personal life, like, okay, you know what? I want to do all this stuff in love, and I want to give back as much as I can. And I want to change every day, even if it's 1% better every day, because I'm still learning. But I'll tell you what, from all of my past experiences and all of the trauma that I've been through and the stories I've had in my life and things like that, I have become so much more wiser as I get older. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the pain I've been through. I'm grateful for some of the things that I've been through. I'm grateful when something happens. I remember the other day I was driving home and a tear came down my eye. And I was like, God, I got it. I understand why you did this, why this happened to me, why I had this hole in my heart, because you wanted more time with me. And guess what? He got more time with me and healed my heart. My heart went from being broken to being completely filled with love. And that's where I'm at today. I am filled with love. And that's what I would tell any woman out there. That's why I always say, lean into your faith, because that brokenness of what you have can be cured by being in love. And that has what's cured my heart. And I knew it. And I said, I know why you did that. You wanted more time with me. And he got more time with me and healed me.
I'm assuming that that healing, like when you apply it to life, right? So there's family, business, personal relationships. Mm-hmm. Priority number one is God.
Priority number one is God.
And then how do you manage the rest of it?
So it's
through God, through faith.
So it's God first, right? Then it's family, right? And then you have church, and then you have your fitness. You want to take care of yourself in order to take care of everybody else. But that's kind of like how kind of it goes for me. And then business is last, to be honest.
I've said this. It took me a long time to understand this, right? But I will suffer financially in order to be happy.
Yeah.
I don't need to be at dinner, at every dinner, right? Mind you, we're in a business where we sometimes need to get on our phone. But 99% of the time at dinner, I am not answering my phone.
Yeah.
Right? 99% of Sundays, 90% of Sundays are dedicated to my mom. I have to go see my mom.
I love that.
Like, I've had realtors tell me, hey, why can't you do this open house on a Sunday? Because Sundays are for my mom. Like, like I'm willing to suffer financially at the expense of living my life the right way according to my core values.
Sure.
And sometimes people won't align with, let's say, your beliefs and stuff like that, right?
Oh, sure, of course.
But as long as you're living your best life, your what's true, and in this case, I would like it's faith, right, for you. For me, it's faith, important.
And I feel like when I said business is last, is God will always provide.
Yeah.
If you seek the Lord, He will seek you back, and He will always provide. I remember I would chase deals like crazy, chase and pound the pavement and go out there, and the REOs I was doing and the builder stuff I was doing. I was working myself to the bones till 10, 11 o'clock at night, barely getting 3.5 hours, 4 hours sleep. And I just decided one day that I wasn't going to chase the business. And ever since I've stopped chasing the business, like even right now, I'm in both commercial and residential. And I'm not going to talk about how many deals I have, but I have enough things on the plate right now, and they keep coming in. They're pouring in because I started seeking different things. I wasn't seeking the deals anymore. And so when you start, you have to stop chasing certain things. Yeah. You got to stop chasing and start seeking.
It's that conversation I told you over my chest was hurting last week. Mm-hmm. And I said, like, I don't care about the money.
Yeah.
I have not. The last time I probably cared about the money was when I was 19. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I'm like, I have this many escrows, and this was the loan amount. And I was doing it when I was a teenager, right?
Yeah.
I do not remember the last time I sat and looked at my pipeline and said, I'm making this much. Mm. I have, it's been at least 20 years, it's just, I do what's right for the person, for the family, give advice based on what that family needs and that person needs. And I do my business, and I just run it, and I do it every single day because you know what? I'm going to get repaid. It's giveaway time, guys. Every single episode, we're giving away free SouthPaw Bill merch. All you have to do is subscribe to the podcast and share one of your favorite moments from the podcast on your social media and tag SouthPaw Bill. This week, the winner is Joshua Gonzalez. Send us a DM on Instagram so we can get out your merch. This is how you can continue to support us to bring you amazing guests, great stories, and it allows us to keep putting our right foot forward in life. Keep swinging. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one. because I'm putting in the work. I'm doing good deeds. I'm doing the right thing.
When you're doing good deeds and you're blessing people and you're doing that and you're impacting people, it always comes back.
Yeah. Now, I know that for sake of time, right? Because I have 2 places to be.
Yes, please.
I want to. We've done this before, but we haven't done it on every podcast. But I want to have a list of questions. I want to ask you 3 questions from a list that I've prepared.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, I don't know what I'm going to ask you, but
I thought you were going to pull out the list out of that cup.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. So, I think we've talked about some of these items, but let me see. How do you create space for self-care and personal growth while managing your business and your family obligations?
Boundaries.
How do you come up with your boundaries?
So I have, like I said, everything is intentional. So I have certain boundaries for things. So at a certain time, I will get up at this certain time. And this is where there's going to be no distractions. So maybe it's my God time, right? So it's going to be my God time for sure. And then as far as self-care, there's a certain day of the week that I have where it's like, this day I'm going to just take it for myself. And this is where I'm going to get my nails done. And I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do whatever. And that's typically Fridays. Fridays are normally the days that I have designated to my own self-care because everybody needs a reset, right? We all need a reset day. And so I have a boundary that on Friday, that is my self-care day where I'm going to, would I take a phone call or do I do some of those things? If I need to, I will. If there's an issue that comes up, I need to take care of it, I will. But usually Fridays are designated as my self-care days. So I put boundaries on certain things. Saturdays, every other Saturday, I get my grandson, just like you. I will not commit to anything on a Saturday for anything unless it's before I pick up my grandson or after I drop my grandson off. I will not do an open house. I will not go visit friends. I will not do anything that is dedicated to my grandson only. He's 7 years old. His first couple of years in his life, I was really, really involved in his life. I took care of him for a little while. And I am his Gigi and I'm his he's got another grandmother too, and I respect that relationship, but there's another relationship that I have with him. And so that is my day that I'm dedicated to him. And Grace, and thank you to his mom that even allows me extra time with him too. I didn't used to always be that way, but we have a much better relationship now because it's all out of love. And so when you show love and compassion and empathy to people that maybe aren't doing as well and maybe have had a lot of a different upbringing and different motivation, I just do everything in love. And I'll tell you right now that relationship is completely turned around because of prayer and doing things in love. And so I get to spend extra time with my grandson. But typically the way that it is, it's every other Saturday. That day is it's just designated for him on that Saturday. And then he goes with me to church on Saturdays. He sees me on my knees praying. He knows about God. He knows about Jesus. He loves going to church. He goes to church with me on Sundays if I have him on a Sunday. But he definitely, and my kids see, because I lead by example. So my son is a little bit older and he's staying with me right now. And this might be getting a little bit off topic, but he knows that there's certain days where like, this is my day, it's designated my day, and this is what I'm going to do. So I'm just very intentional about that.
It's, excuse me. So all these conversations that I mentioned to you, right, at the beginning, where you and I think are lucky, right? We're lucky in so many respects. But
so many.
We're lucky because we have heard of Darren Hardy.
Yes.
Right? Because we've heard of John Maxwell.
Yes.
And there's these books.
Yes.
Or these resources that us as entrepreneurs, we've been introduced to. But sometimes someone who is not an entrepreneur, maybe they have a 9-to-5, or someone that's a student, they don't know. Like, they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So what would you say would be a book or a podcast or something that they could do to help them establish and figure out boundaries and systems? Because that's what you have. You have your boundaries, you have your priorities, list of priorities, and you have systems. And again, us talking together, we can easily come up with like systems to, with stuff because it's what we've done for 25 years. But someone who doesn't, who's never done it before, what could they go out and look for to help them?
So I would like to say, I love the book Atomic Habits. You want to start off with habits, right? What are your habits? What are you doing every day? Because those habits are really what runs your life, of the habits that you do. So my habits are, I know that I'm going to wake up at a certain time because I'm going to read my Bible at this time and I'm going to get the word in. So Atomic Habits is a really good book to read. I love every single one of John Maxwell's books. I've read, I probably can't tell you the titles of them right now, but John Maxwell, as being in a leadership position, I've read a lot of his books. John Maxwell is a great book if you're looking for a leadership position, not to mention that he's very heavy into his faith. So John Maxwell is a great book. There's a few other books that I've read that I just can't think of, but I would definitely say that if you wanted to get something to where you can get your habits right, is Atomic Habits is a really good book. There's another one called, I believe it's called Miracle Morning, is a really good book to read too. It's like, what do you do in the mornings to start off your mornings? Podcasts, as far as podcasts, I personally, my podcasts are all sermons. So I listen to, Steve Furtick. I listen to just different preachers. So even when I go to bed at night, that's what I have on. I love Mel Robbins. I think that if you wanted to learn a lot too on a psychological level, from a human being, Mel Robbins is amazing as far as things that you might be going through. I did listen to her too, but I got a lot of what I needed to from the Word. Everything is truly in the Bible of what you really need to know. But that is the first favorable book. But everything else, like I just mentioned, other books are Atomic Habits, are some of Mel Robbins' books, definitely John Maxwell books that you can read. And so reading a really good book and watching a really good podcast is really good too. So my podcast, if I was to choose, would be Real Talk Kim, because she's more on the spiritual side, would be sometimes Joyce Myers, depending on where you are with your faith. Some people love, some people don't. And then, there's a few others that I'll listen to as far as podcasts. But on a psychological level and a human worldly level, I listen to somebody like Mel Robbins.
Yeah, and I think it's important to be able to expand your mind, again, especially if you're not an entrepreneur, you're not in real estate, you're trying to improve yourself. I think we all need that. Sometimes we think we stop learning in high school or college. The reality of it is like, no, you freaking don't. So that's important. And then to your point, you need to have boundaries in every relationship, whether it's a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Like, don't ask me that question because I'm not going to answer it. I know that clip for me is going a little bit viral because people hate the fact that I said that without context. But
I think in a relationship you can ask, as if you're a husband and wife, not to interrupt you, just to interject. If a wife feels a certain way, I think she should be able to ask you that question as many times as she wants to.
100%. What I was talking about was pre-dating. So like, I just met you.
Yeah.
And you start asking me all these questions. For example, let me just put it this way. Let's say about my mom, right? Because people think that they have the freedom to ask me about my mom and her cancer. And it's like, the fuck? I don't know you from left to right, and you're going to be intrusive on something that's very personal to me. Right? Or let's say the flip side of the coin, I just met you, but you're going to start asking me about my past relationship, right? Let's say like my marriage or my kids. It's like, oh, hold on a second. Like, you have no permission for me to answer those questions, let's say on the first time that we meet. Now, if you're dating, right, if you're a person that dates, which when I was single, I didn't date. Like, I don't date. It's just, both of you guys have different levels that you're comfortable with. And so I may have certain walls and barriers, and your walls and barriers may be higher on certain things. And so, like, I think it's to your point, you meet people where they are, right? So where is she? Where am I at? But now when you're married and it's your husband and wife, I can literally ask you whatever the fuck I want, and vice versa.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that clip, it's so funny because it's just, you know, again, it was a behind the scenes conversation, but I know literally what I meant.
Did it go viral?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's just funny.
Sometimes you have to do stuff like that to have it go viral. So it is what it is. But what I would do if somebody asked me that, just being really authentic, if somebody asked me, you know, I would lovingly say, hey, you know what? We just met, and you know, I can appreciate you wanting to ask me questions about my mom and all that, but right now is not the right time. And when I'm ready to share that with you, I'll definitely make sure I share that with you, because you said that to them, but you said it in love.
Yeah, 100%. And so again, I'm talking to a friend in private. We throw the camera on, and I talk the way I talk, and I'm like, "Why the fuck you asking me that?" Right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, but again, it's
it's
boundaries.
Okay. Yeah.
It's having boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's having those boundaries. And what I told a friend of mine who was really struggling, I said, you know, priorities, urgent versus important. And I said, you know what's more important too? I was like, you need to schedule yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to schedule yourself. It's just like they say on a plane, put on your mask first before you try to help save someone else.
Absolutely.
And he told me, he's like, you know what, George? He just kind of got a little quiet. He said, I haven't seen my mom in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my father just got surgery. I haven't even gone to see my dad. He's like, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Because I've been so busy trying to help others. And I said, look, man, stop trying to pour into others. Stop trying to pour into their cup and not have anything to fill yours with.
Yeah.
So those boundaries and those priorities, which you are important, and whether it's your faith or your belief systems or family or, you know, for example, like scheduling myself to do my art.
Yeah.
I have to schedule myself. If I don't schedule myself, then what am I doing? I'm qualifying another client.
Yeah.
You know?
So you do. You need to definitely schedule yourself. You need to definitely have the boundaries of what your days are that you're going to spend time with yourself. Because like I said, everybody needs a reset. And you need to do that with intention.
Yes. So
you had one more question?
Yeah. One more question. And the question I want to ask is, looking ahead, how do you see your business and personal faith journey evolving together?
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. That's my favorite one. How I see my business and my personal faith is evolving ahead is that my goal is to be a speaker. I am going to be on stage, and I've already been asked to be on stage to tell my story. Who is Kerry? Where is Kerry at today? And what brought her to Jesus? And I want to tell my story because that will not only be able to tell my story to other people and other women and empower other women and empower other people's lives of what I really have gone through and seen and witnessed as a child growing up and what brought me to Jesus. I can't wait to do that. So what is going to, where I see myself is being a public speaker. That's where I'm going to end up being.
I could see that.
Yeah. I do speaking all the time. I don't care what I say. I don't care who likes it, who doesn't like it, who views it, whatever. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And I do talk about faith a lot on my things because I will continue sharing the kingdom to everybody. There's so many hurt people out there right now. And a lot of people don't know who God is. And I will tell you because of my personal experience. And a matter of fact, I'm not going to lie about this right now. I remember one time I was calling you for something and I was going through it. I was going through a really, really hard time. And it's been 5 months and I'm not even the same person I was 5 months ago. And people look at me and they say to me and they DM me and they're like, what is going on with you? And I'm like, it's God. I'm in love. Like there's no relationship. I love my husband. I love my friends. I love everybody, but it really has healed my heart and cured who I am. And I want to be able to give that back to other people so that they have something they know what they can get to know who God is or whatever their higher power is. And they can listen to my story and just know that, wow, I can truly do something to really impact other people's lives. And that's what my goal is to impact people's lives. And whether they receive it or not, that's not up to me. It's up to them.
As long as I change one person, I've changed the world because they changed theirs.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
And not everybody's going to receive you. And not everybody's going to receive me. And it's okay. It has nothing to do with us as long as you're doing the right thing and you're being kind, loving, peace, generous, blessing, impacting, peace, all of that.
No,
all
and your
of those
earrings.
Things. Oh, yeah, my peace earrings, yes. Yeah.
I saw them earlier.
So you just gotta do that and give back and just be a blessing to people. And then you're just a blessing to people and impact people. It all comes back, and just treat people with honor and respect, no matter who they are, where they're at. Meet them where they're at.
Meet them where they're at, guys.
Meet them where they're at.
People can find you on all socials. Kerry Thomson.
So I'm on my my Instagram. It's KTG Real Estate. You can find me on my name on Facebook on Kerry Thomson, TikTok under Kerry Thomson Real Estate, and you can find me on all over social. I'm even on LinkedIn under Kerry Thomson, so you can find me there if you want to find me. And hey, I would love anybody that wants to reach out to me about anything or any questions or has anything that I can do to help or contribute or give back or give you some advice on. I'm always here, and I have an open heart, and my heart is open to helping anybody.
Thank you, Kerry. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Give me a hug.
Let's do it.
Are we on camera still?
Yeah, we are on camera.
Oh, we're going to be on camera.
Yeah.
Give it a hug.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming
oh my
back
God,
again.
That's great. Thank you for having me.
I had fun.
That was awesome. That was fun. That was really really powerful.
I liked it.